depth and maybe some of the guys that maybe caught your eye in that aspect?
You know, it's been a good camp in terms of, cleaning some things up, and there's always techniques and fundamentals that need to be refined. We've been able to, create some roles for some guys and build on some depth. That we talk about dependable depth all the time. So being able to get guys on the field and having those guys be able to go out there and execute like the first team. So through camp, we feel pretty solid about what we've been able to get done with that.
Yeah, I mean, as we kind of sat there today, when they said it was a one defense, you're throwing a lot of guys in and out of there. Is that something that you'd like to have happen? Is that something that you anticipate being able to do right off the bat?
Yeah, it's a long season, so we got to keep these guys fresh, and the more guys we can play and the more guys that we can develop into being dependable on the field and being able to go out there, fly around, and have fun is better off for us.
You've got so many more guys this year back than you had last year. So compare heading into week one this year versus last year, how you feel?
Yeah, we got experience, but there's a lot of challenges. There's a lot of things we still got to refine. There's a lot of things even with experience. I mean, you're either creating good habits or bad habits regardless of how much experience you have. So we're trying to make sure that we're staying on point with everything we're doing, and we're taking a humble and hungry approach.
I think when you return so much on defense, before camp we talked about how not getting complacent or any of that stuff. How have they handled it so far? I mean, you guys are almost a month into your season, so how have they handled it so far?
Yeah, no question. I think we've done a pretty solid job in terms of coming to work every day and working to get better at the things. Whether it's a day one fundamental or a day one scheme, regardless of the situation, we've got to come every single day with their approach that we don't have things figured out, and there's a sense of urgency to get better. And that's easier said than done. That's a lot harder for anybody in their everyday life, but that's something we're striving towards, is being consistent with our approach and how we handle the process.
With Jabril, obviously came in his first year and couldn't be around the team and all that, when he first got here that first fall, and then has battled some injuries and stuff. How have you seen Jabril kind of continue to get to this point where he could be maybe in line for a big senior year?
Yeah, he's done a great job in the offseason developing his stuff. He did a solid job for us last year, and he's worked really hard to put himself in position to have a successful year.
What have you seen? Troy, obviously you have to base it on last season, but what do you remember? What stands out to you about playing up against those guys in that offense?
Well, there's no question they're a physical football team. Their run game, even as you would want to, as a program in general, they progressed very well as the year went on. Their run game really showed, down the stretch and throughout the year how physical they can be in their front, and they return a lot of starters up front as well. So they're very effective in the pass game. See, I don't know what the exact number is, but they didn't give up very many sacks last year because they're efficient within the pass game as well. So they're a very well-balanced team that has the capability of running the ball very well.
I don't even know if they've named the starter yet at quarterback. I mean, how do you guys prepare for that in the first game?
For us, it's more about just making sure that we're ready to go in terms of being able to handle ourselves pre-snap and communicate and make sure we're getting lined up. The quarterback situation, you can't really chase things that you don't have control of, or information on. You just got to do the best to prepare yourself with what you got.
You guys have tried to integrate Lashley this month. It's a different situation, guy coming in for a year like that. How's it gone, and how do you deal with someone like that has the experience he has, but it's all kind of starting over again?
There's no question. He'd be the first to tell you that. Tony is a great young man, and that's what has made this experience enjoyable, and also we've been able to progress with where he's at. He's got a good football IQ. He works extremely hard, and he has been so very humble and hungry, knowing that he's had to come in here and not only learn a defense, but learn a culture and how we do things, and even before we get on the field, knowing how to do plays, how we operate, how we handle ourselves in meetings, and he's done a tremendous job of that stuff.
I think people look at it as just sort of the football, like he can make a play on the field, he can make a play on the field. How hard is all of that other stuff that goes around it?
I wish it was that easy, where even you just plug guys in and they can go. It's not that easy, but he's done an unbelievable job preparing himself. So we're super excited about where he's at in terms of the development of his game with his fundamentals and his techniques as well. He's made a big jump.
He's played Troy more than you guys have, right?
Yeah, he's been on the field. We've been watching Tony run around out there and some of the cut-ups and stuff.
Against Troy?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Whether it was, we talk about the depth, but whoever, who really stepped up for you, do you think, so far here in fall camp? Who did you see that has maybe really made an impression?
Well, I think that there's been a lot of guys overall. I mean, as a group, as a whole. I think Coach Coach Chad has done a really, really good job with the D-line, and even though we got experience there, he's developed some of the younger guys and provided us with more depth, and they're doing a really nice job up front. Obviously, they're going to have a huge challenge, you know, in this first game with the physicality that Troy's our line's going to bring. And in the secondary too, you know, we returned starters, but we've done a nice job with the younger guys and developing them and bringing them along, you know, as a whole group. And Jalen's done a good job at corner. You know, this fall camp has made some improvements from his game last year, so we're really excited about that stuff.
Andy, when you know your defense so well, when you return so many guys, there will be a couple games where you got to figure out who can do. So, what does this do for you as a play caller or directing this defense? What does this do for you?
Just in terms of the depth and the personnel, is that your question?
Well, I mean, in terms of just feeling it all out, you know your guys, you know what they're capable of.
Yeah.
In terms of all that, how does that help you call a game or whatever?
You know, a lot of it has to do too with what the offense does. You know, and there's going to be certain games where certain guys that do things well, it's going to pertain to what the offense does, and obviously being able to play those guys and putting the guys in situations to be able to attack an offense is always the key. And fortunately enough, we got a fair amount of depth where we have guys that do multiple things.